Hello, and thank you for joining me on this live stream. I know it's supposed to be here at 5 and I'm a couple minutes late, but I finally figured out and got it together. So I just want to say thank you, first of all, to all of my friends, family, and members of my community who have shown love on social media today and send me texts and give me phone calls to say happy birthday. I am celebrating my 34th birthday, actually, and I couldn't be more excited about life than I am right now in this very moment. So I want to just make this video to share a couple things with you. First of all, I want to talk about a couple things that I've learned over the past year. Just thinking about my last birthday, which was my 33rd birthday, which to me is a big kind of a spiritual milestone. And just in that short time from then until now, I've learned so many things. For one, through speaking and creating more content, launching my podcast, I've really been able to discover my voice and find out what my true calling is. And I think that I've also learned the value in just taking inspired action. Rather than thinking and planning and, learning more, I've just really learned about the value in feeling the inspiration and creating something with it. And from that, I've heard back from so many women that I've never even met before, all over the world, from here to Japan to in Australia, Europe, who have reached out and said, thanks for that thing you said on your podcast, or thanks for that thing you posted on social media. It really helped me. And that let me know that it's so important for us to take inspired action. When there's a desire in your heart for something that you really want to do, that's because that purpose that's wrapped around that is bigger than you, right? And there are people out there who will be inspired, uplifted, and impacted and changed by what you create. I think that all of us bring something amazing to the table, and I'm just so glad that I was able to have that realization in this past year of my life. So I made this video also because I want to share a little bit about what I'm currently working on and how you can be a part of it. So my mission with the podcast is really to provide a global platform that enables women of color to connect, empower one another, and also to influence social change by telling their stories. I think there's nothing more valuable than us being able to connect human to human. In a day and age where social media is so huge, everyone has a smartphone or some kind of gadget, and usually that's how we communicate with the people we care most about. And we've become kind of detached. And another part of that is kind of this positive psychology movement where it's almost popular to just be so positive and to gloss everything over like everything is awesome. You browse through someone's Instagram highlight reel and you feel, gosh, that's what life is supposed to be like. But at the end of the day, we're all dealing with stuff, and we all have certain experiences that unite us. Some of the deepest, darkest moments that you've been through where you felt most alone, there are other people all around the world going through that at the very same time. So I think it's very important as a woman of color to be able to hear those stories from other women of color, right? So that we can support one another and be raw and real about what's going on, and not to create a worldwide pity party, no, but to be vulnerable and see the beauty in vulnerability. Because when we become vulnerable and willing to speak up about the things that we struggle with, the things that we have struggled with, and also what we did to pull ourselves out of that, we give other women and girls permission to also tell their stories and let them know it's okay to stumble and to fall and to not have it all figured out. And that no matter what you're going through, I don't care how dark and horrible it may be, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that we do get to choose how we show up in every moment. And there are so many women out there who are rooting for you, who are willing to partner in your success, who will celebrate your wins, get excited about the things that you're excited about, and who will also offer their support, their encouragement, and their mentorship to help you find your own path. So that's really what my mission is as a podcaster. So I launched back in January 8th of 2019, and I'm just around, I think, 20 episodes or so right about now. And I started interviewing women on the podcast last month. So the first, I'll say 10 episodes was just me sharing as much value as I can to uplift and empower women, to help them get some tools in their arsenal to create their own version of happiness and success. So then in March, I brought on some other women who have created success in their life and business. And I realized in that process that I got really excited about their stories. And I didn't feel that I was putting enough emphasis on having those stories told. So even though I am so grateful for the women who have come on the podcast, I have more interviews that I'll be rolling out in the coming weeks, I'm going to really put more emphasis going forward on bringing out those stories and helping women of color to really have that platform to have their voice heard. So I don't care if you're an entrepreneur or if you work as a dishwasher at IHOP, it doesn't really matter. If you have a story of something that you've been through, some difficulty, and you can talk about what you did to empower yourself, maybe some people who helped you along the way, then I want to hear your story. And I think that it's so valuable to let the community hear that story as well. So that's really where I'm going with the podcast going forward. And I realized I didn't even introduce the podcast. It's called the Yes to You podcast for those of you who don't know. And you can catch up on everything you've missed at yes2youpodcast.com. So just to close out this video, really, I want to ask for your support as a member of this community. I pour a lot of time and hours and value into this podcast to try and help people. And so this is my first time really reaching out to ask you for your support. And what I'm asking is that you will go to my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Dominique D. Wilson, and make a donation. Any amount is fine. And what I want to do is between today, which is April 22nd, and May 7th, I want to take every penny that is donated and I'm going to give that to Friends of the Family. And Friends of the Family is a community-based organization located in Denton, Texas. And what they do is they provide compassionate services to women who are victims of rape, sexual abuse, and domestic violence. So they have counseling, different resources they offer. They also have an emergency shelter. And so the reason I chose May 7th is because that's actually the date of my solar return. And that's when the sun and the moon come directly into alignment, just as they were the day I was born. So technically May 7th is my actual birthday. I know that's super nerdy, but that's just me. So from now, which is 15 days from now, any money that is donated into my Patreon account will go directly to Friends of the Family. And of course, I will make sure that I let all of you know. I will provide proof that that money was hand-delivered to this organization. So I would so appreciate if you could become a patron. Again, that's patreon.com/Dominique D. Wilson. And be sure to check the description box of this video because I will put that in here. Actually, I don't know if I can do it now. Let me see if I can. I can. All right. So I'm going to put that link here. .com/ Let's hope I don't make a typo. Okay, and so if you just go there, like I said, anything that you donate will be directed towards Friends of the Family from now through May 7th. And the reason I set up the Patreon is to help to continue empowering women. It takes a lot of money, time, and effort, but money to produce a podcast. And so I set the Patreon up because your investment will help to offset some of the many costs associated with podcasting. Everything dealing with production, editing, the hosting I pay for, I have to pay for the bandwidth for as many episodes that I upload. So there's so many different things that go into that, guest recruitment costs, all of the social media things I'm doing. So after May 7th, that's what those donations will be for. But from now until 15 days going forward, I want every penny as a birthday gift to me to go to those women who really need that support. So thank you so much for partnering with me in this effort to support women here in Denton County and going forward, women all over the world through this empowering message. I hope that this video has been inspiring to you. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your birthday wishes. I really appreciate you all. Peace and love, and I'll catch you on the flip side.